everybody, and welcome into Perspectives. We're glad you could join us today. We have an interesting guest and an interesting topic on this segment, and I think you're gonna find that it's something you're gonna want to see. Jake Krumwiede is the new director of OKPOP.
That's it. Or the Oklahoma Museum of Popular Culture.
All right, what are it?
Well, yeah, so OKPOP, the Oklahoma Museum of Popular Culture, as you might have guessed, focuses on Oklahoma popular culture. So we're going to be, when we open, a 60,000 square foot museum right in the heart of downtown Tulsa, across the street from Cain's Ballroom, that focuses on Oklahoma's influence in popular culture. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of things. I mean, you ask the question, what is popular culture? It encompasses a lot of different topics, from film and television to music to broadcasting to comic books. It's a lot of different things. And so as we're putting this museum together, we kind of are realizing even 60,000 square feet doesn't seem like quite enough.
The new structure is breathtaking.
Yes.
From the outside. When they brought you in to take the reins of the place, were you struck by the I want to say majesty, and that's not right, but the impressive structure itself?
Oh, absolutely. I've always been a big fan of architecture. You know, as a historian and as somebody who likes to preserve old things and old buildings, I think a lot of...
You get along with me just fine,
yeah.
Go ahead.
A lot of people, I think, that are historians love old buildings, and as a result love architecture too, and even new architecture. And this building is just fantastic. Designed by local architect Chris Lilly Architects. It's really a fantastic, beautiful structure. And so it's a striking building, and I think it's a really, really neat addition to that downtown area.
Do a breakdown if you could, and I know it's going to change. After we talk about it, these things change. They're fluid. Mm-hmm. Until you get them in place where you want them. But are the exhibits designed to educate or inform or both?
So we are building a museum that's a little bit different. It's a little bit outside of the common mold of what a museum is. We're trying to be a little bit non-traditional. We have kind of these three separate spheres of what we call this museum. That first sphere is about the experience. Mm-hmm. And so that's everything from when you walk through those doors, we want people to feel entertained. We want people to enjoy their experience. So that's going to be one of the important elements of what we do. That second sphere is education. We want to be able to educate people, tell these stories about Oklahomans and Oklahomans' influence in popular culture, be storytellers and tell these stories about what makes Oklahoma awesome. And that's also, curating, preserving these artifacts. And then that third sphere is what I think all museums should be in some way or another, and that's community hubs. These museums are a collection of things that are important to people, especially with the Oklahoma Historical Society, with Oklahoma's history. We are the ones that are collecting and preserving our history and our stories. Mm-hmm. What better place for a community to gather than places that house those things?
Yeah, you're right across the street from Cain's Ballroom.
Yes.
Which was a major point on the red dirt sound out of Oklahoma.
Yeah. And it's why we're really excited about where it's located specifically, right across the street from Cain's Ballroom. Somebody that had a big impact in music, in Western swing, Bob Wills, his career was really launched from Cain's Ballroom right there. And so he's one of the stories that we're going to be telling within the walls of OKPOP. And there's no really better place to do it than right across the street.
There was a time when you bought a new radio,
mm-hmm.
for example, and you wanted to listen to Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. The radios came with push buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them did. And those that had the push buttons, there was one labeled KVOO.
That's right.
So you could say, oh, that's where Bob Wills is, and you
yes.
punch it, and it was already preset for that frequency.
Yeah.
And you would listen to Bob Wills and the crew play.
Yeah.
Let me turn a quick corner here with you because
Sure.
time is really getting away from us. That part of town has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, really changed.
Yeah.
5 years ago, you'd go down there, you wouldn't see anybody unless they were going and coming at Cain's.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, you go down there and you see young men and women relaxed, the future of Oklahoma,
Yes.
relaxed,
Yes.
walking around, taking in the scenes,
That's right.
and just absorbing the history.
Yeah.
What brought on the change?
You know, I think, I'll say that's very true. I'm a Claremore guy. I grew up here in Claremore. In fact, I went to Rogers State University myself. Tulsa has been my hometown, my home area for a long time. 4 years ago, I moved out to Enid and was the director of a museum there. And so when I came back here just a month ago, I was astounded by how much development has happened in that downtown area in Tulsa just in the last 5 years. It's really shocking. And so, you know, we really want to be a part of that growth. The way I see it, you know, we are a museum about Oklahoma popular culture. Music's a big part of what we're going to be, the stories that we're going to be telling. Think about what's already there. I mean, we've got Cain's Ballroom right across the street, the Woody Guthrie Center, the Bob Dylan Center, the church studio. Add on top of that everything that went into, you know, the music before the Tulsa Race Massacre, so the Greenwood Rising as well. All of this stuff that's focused on music. Tulsa will become like this cultural musical destination.
Quick question. Will your exhibits be rotating? Is it going to be a fluid display setup, or do they go in there and that's it?
Our experience, and that's kind of what we call it, is the exhibits are going to be something that is immersive. It's an experience when you go into it. Very visual, very beautiful in nature. But yeah, we want them to be fluid and ever changing to where it's, you know, a museum is something that you want to visit again. And every time you go back, the experience is a little bit different. The stories that we're telling, we're focusing on different things. And everything that we do within the walls, we want to be able to tell those stories and keep adding to the tapestry that is Oklahoma popular culture.
So we're talking serious growth.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a museum's for. That's what
Sure.
it should be.
Yeah.
And if you go to the larger cities across the United States, that's exactly what you see.
Yeah.
We got about a minute left, and in that minute, I'd be curious to know, are you focused on any one particular thing or group of things that you want to start with? Have you already acquired those things to put in place? Where are you?
You know, where we are right now, you know, we're hoping to collect. That's part of our mission of the Oklahoma Historical Society, is to collect all of these collection items, all of these stories, and preserve everything to the best of our ability. And so, with popular culture, this is a new museum. It's our responsibility to start to collect these things that are important, and that's so many different things. We are still, to this day, uncovering new stories. And as we do, we see the need for new collections. So in the next few years, as we're getting this place ready to open, that's going to be one of our major efforts, is trying to identify these collection pieces that help us tell those stories.
Jake, we're out of time. Thank you for taking time to come visit with us.
Always a pleasure.
And I want to encourage the folks at home to please go see it.
Yes, absolutely.
Once the doors open. When do you open?
Well, we're not going to exactly say that for sure. Within the next few years, once we get the funds raised, which we expect within 12 months or so, it'll take about 18 to 24 months to build out the exhibit. So it'll be in a couple of years.
You and I will talk more.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
Uh-huh.
Good to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Short break. We'll be right back.